Good morning, everybody. Favorite vlogger, back with another vid. Actually, have a great question here, and I figured I'd go ahead and answer it now since I have the free time. Jesper wants to know, says, "Hey, favorite vlogger, enjoy your videos. Thank you. I actually want to know something about culture. How do you feel when you go back to the States? How does the culture shock affect you that way?" That's actually a very good question. Because almost every year I've gone back to the States on vacation, just, because of my family and because of my mother and everything. And to be quite honest, I get somewhat annoyed, believe it or not. I know we go around and people say United States is the greatest country in the world and everything, and we do everything big and there's no problems. But when you think about it, when you look at it from the outside, there actually is a tons of problems that we have not come to solve. Take, for example, I've been here since 2007. Every time I go back to the States, the first thing that annoys me right off the bat is, of course, my wife and I, or if I have my family with me, we go out to eat. And the first annoying thing is, because I constantly keep forgetting, is that we have to pay tip to the waitresses. Of course, over here in Denmark, that stuff is already, I guess, gratuity is already added into the price. Take, for example, here in Denmark, if we go to eat at Jensen's Buffhus, you paying for a steak, a piece of meat, probably no bigger than that. Depends on how many grams and all the rest of stuff. And so I understand. That's understandable. In the States, you getting some fat ass steak. Ain't no joke. You paying for what you eating. But yet now that doesn't stop the waiter or waitress at being a dick to you. It's like, hey, can you give me some ice water or water without without the lime or whatever? And then they come back, you still got a fucking lime in it. I mean, okay, that's nitpicking. But yet at the same time, it's like you place an order and you specifically say, I want such, and it comes back wrong. I give you a prime example. I went out, I think it was like 2-3 years ago, my wife, and we ordered something. My wife got some type of pasta dish. And apparently this pasta dish had been sitting in a Tupperware for God knows how long. And when they threw it in the microwave, claiming that they just cooked it fresh, you could see the actual little date sticker that dude did not take time to pluck out of the food before he heated it up again or whatever, or preheat or whatever, and served it to us. And my wife was like, "What should I do about this?" Like, you should complain. You should go up to the waiter and say, "Hey, look, it's shit in my food. Booyah." So I give you another prime example. This was actually just last year. No, excuse me, year before last. We went out to, there's a nice place that's called Cheesecake Factory. Now this place is top notch. This is like the buku or the top of the chain in restaurants. I ordered some meatloaf or something like that, and the meatloaf came back shit ass cold. I kid you not. And I told the guy, and it must have took them 25 minutes to come back with a warm plate. At that point in time, my wife and I were like done. Like, forget about it. So dude was being a hard ass about it. He was like, "Oh, well, why you give me such a bad attitude?" Technically, I'm not giving you a bad attitude, but overall, the customer is always right. So in this case, that's one of the annoying culture things that automatically annoy me when I get back. Another thing, if this ever does happen, and I hope to God it doesn't happen, the stuff with Medicare and stuff like that. Over in the States, of course, I've grown up in it, so I know how it works. If you get sick or something like that, like for example, my kid is somewhat sick. She's had an on and off fever, but I mean, it's nothing that's made her miserable. So of course, she's still gonna go to daycare until daycare calls and say, "Hey, something's wrong with Jasmine. You need to come get her." If this was in the States and we say, "Okay, we need to go to the doctor," once we call that doctor, we have to pay money just for that doctor to see my daughter. just for him to stick a thermometer in her mouth, check her temperature or, blood pressure and all the rest of that stuff. Over here, it's just, hey, call up. Can I reserve a time for somebody to look at my kid? Like, boom, you go right in there and it's done. Wham, bam, you out the door. It's not like, okay, kid's sick. Okay, that was diagnosed out the door. But I mean, they take the time to say, okay, here are some options that can make your kid better. Some Panodil, blah, 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 blah. So that's something that is a huge shock to me still. We have not had an issue where I've gone to the doctor, or my wife has gone to the doctor, or my kid, knock on wood, shoot needs fighting. But that's one of the things. Now, granted, I think I may have touched on this. The reverse side effects of that culture shock here is, the stores close relatively in decent amount of time. But of course, over in the States, everything runs 24/7. I mean, you got a Walmart that basically is open around the clock every day, all day. Even I think on Christmas, if I ain't mistaken, but I could be wrong. But I mean, of course, over here they tailor more to your home life is your life. You work, but we also are aware that you have a family. That's something that they don't seem to fathom in the States. And I was blind to it at first, but now I actually do see it more often. When I come to visit the States, my friends and my family, they are working their ass off. They work from basically 8 in the morning to almost 6 p.m. in the night. So then when they come home, they are ridiculously tired. So there's not much time for me to come and hang out with them and stuff like that. Or it's not much time for them to come hang out with us. And it's usually on the weekend. And then even on the weekends, if you got a job where, hey, they need you to come in on the weekends, you're screwed. You're screwed. I mean, of course, yes, we have weekend jobs over here in Denmark as well, too. But they also, again, they realize, hey, okay, Saturday, we close at 4 in the afternoon. You're done for the day. Unlike, Saturdays in the States, I remember I used to work at a job, this music store, before we had digital downloads and everything. There were CDs. And I kid you not, I would be up 7 a.m., be at that place, do the morning routine from like 8 to 10. 10 o'clock, we open the gate, and from 10 till 9 o'clock that night, straight working. Even if it was just rearranging the CDs to put in new shit. So, I mean, and then after that while, I was like, because Saturday was normally when I wanted to hang out with my friends and stuff like that Saturday night. I was ridiculously tired because I had to be right back at the store the next day, 9 o'clock, to open up at 11. Now, granted, yes, Sunday times, they change and all the rest of that stuff, but it's still, I truly wish that there were some cultural things here over that would adapt over to the States. Like another great example, education. I kid you not. For those who didn't know, I did pass my exam. I am out of Grundforløb. Now I'm in the phase where I start Hovedforløb. And if this was something that was incorporated in the States, this would be so awesome. People would actually, I think, would be more motivated to actually get their degree and go out and search for victimhood and try to get a job. But yet, in the States, it's like, even if you're lucky enough to pass at the high school level, the college, the junior college and the college levels are off the chain now. I'm quite aware because I was in junior college for quite some time, and I even had to take off time to work 3 jobs just to come back to school so I can afford to try to finish up my degree. The degree that I was going for first was like music, and then I went off topic and started just trying to get general education. For that, it only should have took me, 2.5 years? It took me 6 years to get going. That's because I was living home with my moms and pops and had to make ends meet, and that's how things work. That's how things just happen that way. Over here, Denmark, Europe, I kid you not. It's like, go to school. Hey, okay, you seriously, you want to take this education? Here you go. We give you some money, push you out there, and you do what you got to do. I wish I would have had that same exact motivation in the States. Like, hey, you want to be a doctor? Here you go. Here's 10 million grand. Go be a doctor. We will help you. Awesome. Totally awesome. So, yes, but these are just some of the things that I guess, are still somewhat of a culture shock. Like I said, it doesn't make me mad, but it makes me somewhat of annoyed and makes me a little bit embarrassed. But I mean, it's still my country, and I'm proud of it. I'm not exceptionally proud of the horrible things that happen. Another prime example, this is the last one, buying guns and shit in the States. Any jackass, granted, if they're 18 or not, to me, it depends on who's behind the counter, can go into Walmart and buy a gun. As long as you got a gun permits and papers and everything, I don't care. They don't ask what you're going to use the gun for, which I find very disturbing. It's like, okay, hey, Mr. Johnson, what are you going to buy the gun for? Oh, I plan on shooting up a school today. Then don't give them the gun. But yet, they got the paperwork and the money and all the other shit that goes with it. You can't deny them that. It's also one of our rights to what we call bear arms. That's fine. That's your God-given right. But is it your God-given right to go in and shoot up a freaking school of little kids, high schoolers, college kids that's trying to actually go somewhere in life? I don't know. I don't get that. But yet over here in Denmark, you can have a pistol unless you are going to, I guess, is that like the rifle range? You're allowed to have a quote-unquote, I guess, hunting rifle if you're going to go out and shoot like deer and stuff like that. That is the only time you are permitted to have a gun. Any other time, if you were just a normal house dad like me, or an employee like my wife goes out and works and come home, you are not allowed to have a gun. Period. Point blank. If you have a gun, somebody, hvis du har en pistol, go to think so. I don't know. If you have a gun, I guess here in the States, and you're not a cop or you don't have that permit, you done. You done. They find it on you. I guess they questioning you, and it's like in jail with you. I don't know, but somebody please help me out on that. I could be totally wrong. So that's my take on culture shock. I'm like I said, I'm not overly thrilled when I do go back to the States. Of course, they ask me ridiculous questions. Do you have a tank? Do you plan on assassinating the president? Yes, because I've been in Denmark for freaking 7 years. I plan on assassinating Obama. Come on, get it together. People at SAS or those stupid airport things when you come back in the States, immigrations, it's like, welcome back to the States, sir. Do you have any grenades? Yes, I come from a country that builds grenades, doofus. So, yes, but that was, I hope that is the answer you're looking for. Yes, there's always a culture shock when I come back. It's not always good, not always bad, but it's kind of in between. So I'm very, very, very blessed to be here, and just hope at some point in time the state starts incorporating some of the things that are over here, because I think it would benefit us so much. We would improve greatly, make leaps and bounds from some of the horrible things that were said. It was still like low class shit in over in the States. So that was that, guys. Sorry if this went a little long. I wasn't planning on going that long, but it's a very touchy subject. So thanks for your question, man. I appreciate it. If you got any other questions, again, like always, and I know it's probably getting old, submit them. Send them on the Facebook page. Send them here on YouTube. Send them on wherever. And I'll check you guys on the next video, okay? Peace.